Morning all. Stationary today in a station car park. Stationary in the station. Waiting for Dan to turn up for another episode of The Plan. And today we're going to be talking about how long would it take after an apocalypse before society descends into chaos? How long have we got? If someone turns off the power, turns off the internet, no more food deliveries to the shops, everything just shuts, everything just stops. How long have we got? How long have you got? How long can you survive? It's a weird one. Let's get on with it.
Well, we've just watched that funeral finish over there.
We have.
There's a pub just there.
There is.
Which means that's where the wake's going to be.
They're literally walking up there right now.
Which means free food and beer.
Wake crashers.
Wake crashers.
Yeah.
That's
a new low.
Yeah.
Crashed a wedding, but I don't think I've ever crashed a wake.
Well, there you go. We could pop your wake cracking cherry. Anyway. Crashing. Yeah.
Anyway, today, the subject is, if there was an apocalypse, world coming to an end kind of thing, someone turns off the power, the internet's gone, there's no more deliveries to shops.
It's more of a technical question. You know, we are at the mercy of cyber attacks.
We are.
You know, electric, finance, ordering food, doing your shopping, all of this stuff. You know, everything. And we've raised this subject because I live near a co-op. That's our local sort of shop that you nip to.
Yep.
And the shelves have been empty because they've had a cyber attack.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that's what it was. It's literally empty.
A ransom cyber attack.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they've gone into the database, scrambled all of their data, all of their ordering, and you know, scrambled everything.
Wow. And
said, unless you pay us, they haven't disclosed the amount as far as I know.
Well, because of that, the shelves are empty.
Yeah, because they can't.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, didn't know that.
And they did Marks and Spencer. I don't know if it's the same group.
Oh yeah, they can't sell anything online at the moment.
They can't take because they've taken their credit card payment, so you can only pay by cash in Marks and Spencers at the moment.
Wow. That's insane.
I know. Hence the inspiration for today's episode.
Interesting.
You know, the stuff that we would normally have from co-op.
You can't get. It's just not there.
I mean, who can? There's no honey roasted cashews, Sean.
I mean, that's as bad as the world ending.
First world problems. Yeah. You know.
Well, do you remember at the beginning?
There's a crack in my cafetiere.
Don't want to know about your cracks.
No.
But do you remember at the beginning of the pandemic, you couldn't buy chicken? I remember driving around God knows how many supermarkets buying up as much chicken as I could find. Yeah, there was just none on the shelves. All of a sudden it became a scarcity. It was like chicken and toilet roll, for whatever reason, you had to queue up to buy it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that actually becomes a problem when you realise you need these things.
You do need these things. You definitely need toilet roll.
You definitely need toilet roll, and you know, you've got to eat something.
But how long before, so, you know, if banking goes down, how many days before there's absolute anarchy?
I mean, if banking goes down now, it's anarchy from day one, really, isn't it? Because cash is not massively a thing anymore. People pay just about all the time with their phones or with a card. So if that just stops working and people need to get access to their cash, there's two big problems. One, if it doesn't work and you can't have it. And two, even if it did work, I'm not sure they've got enough cash.
I don't think they have got anywhere near
so no one would be able to get their cash.
No.
And as it is now, if you want to take a sizable lump of cash out of the bank, they want to know what for.
You see, that's the Santander thing, isn't it?
But it's not just them. They all do it now. They want to know what it's for.
That's horrendous.
I think it is horrendous. I mean, I know why they're doing it, but that's sketchy for me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That shouldn't be allowed.
No, I agree. I completely agree.
You know, if you're worried about money laundering and fraud that much, then tighten up elsewhere. Don't stop people having their money.
So what about, so the next big thing's a power.
Yeah, if that goes. Well, that's a big problem in today's world, isn't it? Because everyone with an electric car that needs to charge it, that's the end of that. You can't wash your clothes in your washing machine or dry them in your dryer. Your dishwasher stops working, your cooker stops working, your TV don't work, your lights don't work.
Well, it's dark. That's the first thing I thought. You know, the first night where it's dark, you can't turn your lights on.
Yeah.
There's no street lamps.
No.
You know, it is.
There's loads
dark
of problems with that. Everything stops. Communication would stop instantly. You couldn't phone anyone.
No.
You know, no internet, none of that. It would be so disorientating, I think, for the population.
That's a good word.
And I think probably people would feel the need to group together. Do you know what I mean? I think you'd get in the car and think, right, I'm going to go and find my kids.
Yeah.
You know, I don't live with my kids. They, you know, live in different places. I'd want to round them up. You know, I'm not sure that would do any good.
No, but that's that's the fatherly thing.
It's a bit like, you know, if you hear the bomb's on its way, you know, someone's fired a nuclear missile at this country, what do? Well, I don't know, but maybe I'll go and find my kids, or, you know, or what, I don't know.
Yeah.
There would be an urge.
Do what we talked about on the way from the car, probably.
It's
first port of call.
It's so unimaginable in a way. You don't know what you do.
But it's so close. I know it's unimaginable.
Yeah.
But we're so reliant on this wafer thin sort of piece of technology.
We are.
That and it's, you know, the people that know what they're doing could pull it to bits in moments.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be the next war, won't it? It will probably be cyber attacks, take down a country's infrastructure from the inside, stop them being able to access their money, you know, or their, you know, food. I mean, it's a really good one. If what's happened to Co-op happened to all the major supermarkets, it wouldn't be many days before people are going hungry.
No. Or the water stops. Because they say, like in nuclear fallout, fill your bath.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, if the tap stops working, I mean, that's a hell of a thing, isn't it? That you take it very much for granted. And the other thing, how quickly would it become a very tribe mentality? You know, you'd start defending what you've got. If you've got a freezer that's full, even though the freezer don't work, it will be good for a few days. Got a bunch of food here. People think you've got food and they haven't. People start to get violent.
Yeah, of course they would, yeah.
It wouldn't take long. The society would break down quite quick.
I get violent when I'm hungry and people aren't even starving.
There you go, yeah. The old hangry thing.
Yeah, dangry.
It would take over dangry. It's true though, there would be there would be problems pretty damn quick.
Well, it's more to the point you talk about your kids. If people have got food and you can't feed your kids, there's not a lot going to stop you, is there?
And all of a sudden I'm thinking, what about the people in countries that's like that now? Is that why they're coming here?
Yeah.
They just want to feed their kids.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah. But it's true, isn't it? It's that's why. And that's
yeah.
That's
yeah, because they've been subject to horrors that we can't imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's disturbing.
Yeah. It's when, so when the super intelligence arrives, realise we're completely useless, turns it all off and then sends out those robot dogs just to round us all up.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a colour, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's another one. Yeah. God, you don't see yellow cars.
They're both brand new. One's a Lambo, that's the new Renault 5 Turbo. I mean,
is it?
They're just out.
It must be Mr. and Mrs.
What, yellow car family?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a Lambo,
You'd be like,
have a Renault
Dad,
5.
Mum.
Yeah, why have you bought me a Renault? I wanted the Lambo.
Yeah.
Oh God, there's an ambulance turning up to the wake.
God, he wasn't dead after all.
Oh my God.
I told you I was ill.
It really is turning up to the funeral.
Is it?
Is it?
No, it can't be.
It looks like it might be. You don't want that, do you?
Can't be. Well, yeah.
I mean, everyone's dressed right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Wasn't it weird that time that you died, everyone was already dressed for a funeral?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, that's a bit harsh. Her dress is a bit short for a funeral. Have a bit of respect, love.
Oh dear. But I think the big thing of when something like that happens will be the panic of not being able to communicate. If you don't here. Do you remember in the pandemic, Boris standing up at his lectern, telling everyone you must stay at home?
Yeah.
It became a thing every day at 5 or whatever it was, what time it was on. You just want to see what's going on, so everyone was watching it.
Yeah.
And imagine if something catastrophic like that happens and no one says anything. There's no way to hear
There's
it.
no way to know. You don't know what's going on in the next village, let alone in the next town or even the next country.
That would be the biggest problem.
Yeah.
The lack of communication would cause panic.
Because you take it so much for granted.
Yeah.
Knowing what's going on everywhere at all times.
I'll tell you what I think would definitely happen is that within a couple of days at least, maybe quicker, they'd have the army out.
Oh, well.
Just keeping peace. Just stopping people from whatever it is they want to do, looting or fighting over
Is the
food.
army big enough to...
No, not really. Not to deal with everyone.
No.
But it would probably, in the capital, London, it would probably... I don't know. It's hard to imagine, isn't it?
There's some nations have started to give out the leaflets again, haven't they? What to do in the event of a nuclear...
Well, I suppose it's become...
fallout.
Obviously there's the Russian-Ukraine thing, but also the Indian-Pakistan thing, which appears to have calmed down a bit now. But for the first time since the 80s, it's become...
prevalent again.
There's a slim chance that might happen.
Yeah.
No one's thought about it for decades. All the, everyone's nuclear bunkers they built in the 80s have all been turned into pool rooms and, whatever else, all of a sudden they're turning them back into shelters.
Yeah. All the super rich have got shelters, haven't they? The Zuckerbergs and the what have you.
Well, I guess you would.
Yeah.
Get endless amounts of money, why not? Yeah, wow. So we don't think long then? A few days before...
Yeah, I think
chaos.
Easily a few days, yeah. And it's hard to know what you would do. I mean, imagine if you ran out of weed.
I don't have to imagine that.
No, I know.
In the days when that was my thing.
Yeah, me as well. Me as well. Or red wine. God, imagine if the Sauvignon went cold. Went warm, got warm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it would go well at all if we lost the ability to have communications from whoever's in charge when things like that start going wrong.
Yeah. Oh, people
when the internet stops working for a couple of hours at home, panic.
Yeah. People don't know what to do with themselves.
No, power cut. Kind of a novelty these days. It's a bit of a laugh, but if it doesn't come back on,
we used to have a box of candles when I was a kid at home.
Yeah, the same.
Yeah.
Well, that was because parents were still had in short memory, from the late 70s. I was around. I remember those power cuts at the end of the 70s where basically they were just turning the power off for a few hours every day because, there was a problem.
Needed the energy, yeah.
Needed the energy, and it was a regular thing. And I think people after that thought, oh, we better keep a box of candles.
Yeah.
But it stopped happening, obviously. But
There's that woman with her dog again. That's a nice little circuit.
yeah.
Yeah. The apocalypse.
So what would you do?
What would I do? Fill the bath.
Yeah.
I feel what you're saying about going and finding your kids.
But you like being isolated, you like being on your own, and you like being left alone.
Yeah, but
sounds like perfection to me.
It does, yes, it does. But what would worry me?
Shut.
Yeah, the pub would be shut. That'd be bad. But it's the dark, because you know how you worry in the dark. It's a prime time for bad things to happen. And I just think, yes, the days would be bad.
Yeah.
But 2 nights of people without light.
Yeah.
And no excuse not to do anything that they wanted to do. I think bad thing,
Scooby.
No, it's not my one, not bad. I don't want to say bad things would start to happen, but I think people would start to go crazy, and I'd be scared that people would try and break in, like you say, for food or,
Yeah,
it's weird. Yeah.
It's
a bit dark, isn't it? Well, it is literally
It is dark. I mean, I'm not afraid of the dark generally. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. But you're right. I think in those situations, you're thinking, are other people going to start doing weird shit?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Dark isn't bad as long as you know you can turn the light on. There, fuck me, that's a hook line for a film. Isn't it?
Not a very good film.
Yeah, the dark isn't scary when you know you can switch the light on.
Yeah.
If you can't switch the light on and you can hear somebody coming up the stairs,
Yep.
not cool, man. Not cool.
No.
What's that ambulance doing now? Look?
I don't know. It's reversing down the road with all its lights on now.
Somebody must have.
I mean, if it wasn't so
you'd think somebody
insensitive,
had
I'd film
died.
this. Yeah. It's definitely
He's going to be taking 2 people to hospital. Keeps reversing over those.
I hope they're not in a rush, is all I can say. Because, yeah, it's not getting anywhere fast.
Oh, is that?
Yep, I've no clue.
No.
I think the funeral goers are just as baffled.
Yeah, there we go. Those lot aren't going to the pub, look.
No.
What are we doing? Are we going to the pub or are we going to the studio now?
I think it's the studio, isn't it?
Yeah. Can we have some biscuits again? I could have some coffee and some biscuits.
I mean, that involves going to the co-op who haven't got any food. We can go to a different shop, I suppose.
Yeah.
We are not actually in a, whatever you call it. What's it called?
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
No, but you don't have any little corner shops where you live because it's so bloody posh.
That's true, there isn't any.
No.
Yeah, that is true. We can go to Waitrose.
Yeah.
Or Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah, go to the co-op, get supplies for the live stream, which is coming tonight for our other show, isn't it?
That's true. Yeah, yeah, we do need supplies for that. So I'm not sure we got very far with that, other than we think the world will descend into panic in 2 days.
Yeah,
and we wouldn't know what to do.
No,
other than panic.
No, just stay in your house, lock the doors, fill the bath, stay safe. You know, there are films about it, aren't they? Where I do, you know, I could kill it. Just what? Shut yourself.
No, I've just realised I've just bought a gas barbecue. I'd be able to cook.
There you go.
I'd be all right for a bit.
Till the gas runs out.
Till the gas runs out, I'd be all right.
Yeah, could you kill an animal with your bare hands?
If I was hungry and there was no other choice, yeah.
As long as it wasn't a fish.
I don't know, I'd quite like to kill all the fish.
You couldn't eat them though.
With a hand grenade. You know.
Yeah. Could you kill and skin a rabbit?
Yeah, I think I'd be all right with that.
Gut it, yeah.
I don't really want to. I prefer to buy it from a supermarket, but, you know, if that's the only choice, then yeah.
Yeah, we used to do it when we were kids. Out with the old 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, my dad was very much, you know, you need to know how to do that stuff. He was, you know...
He certainly was, yeah.
You know, that was part of growing up. Education and that kind of stuff, how to survive. I mean, he was all about that. In fact, that's a weird thing. So, my dad, in the 80s, because of his job, he was in the special forces and stuff. When he stopped doing that, he became a local, I don't know what the word is, but in case of a nuclear war, he would have been the bloke who had to go out and make sure people in the local community were sort of surviving, and in able to do that job, they'd given him a radiation suit.
Really?
Yeah, and when he died and we were going through his stuff, I found it in a big military box. Like, what's in here? Opened it up, and it's a radiation suit with a mask and the boots and everything.
Blimey.
Yeah. I gave it away.
Did you?
Well, I found someone that collected military stuff, and I thought, I don't really want to be the only person I know that survives.
No.
I don't need this. I'll give it to someone else.
I wouldn't like you to be the only person I know that survives either.
Wandering around in my nuclear suit, not be able to talk to anyone because everyone's dead. I didn't think there was any need to keep it.
Oh, again, it sounds like bliss to me, that.
But yeah, that was his sort of, that would have been his job in the event of a nuclear war, would be to go and check up on. I don't know what you check up on. I didn't really understand it. I was too young to get my head around it. Never asked the question, I don't think. But yeah, there was a plan in place for people to...
I remember, learning about it when I was at school. You know, there was Fungus the Bogeyman or something. Was that?
Well, they did When the Wind Blows. Remember that?
Did they?
Cartoon, that, Raymond Briggs cartoon about the same guy that did
Nuclear Winter.
Yeah, it was grim. Just made everyone definitely not want to survive one.
No. Well, I think there's a lot. I think, I'm not sure I would want to survive.
Well, I don't think you're a target where you live, mate, and there's nothing there.
Well, I think we both live close enough to London to be hopefully vaporised by the time it hits. Yeah, or go down fighting for the last can of beer in the supermarket or something. Yeah, well, they'll all be gone because of the cyber attacks. There'll be nothing there anyway. No. God, that would be cruel, wouldn't it? Take away the shopping, take away the alcohol, then drop a bomb on you. Yeah. Just to finish you off. Yeah, anyway, bomb first. On that cheery note, I think it's time to go. There we go, the apocalypse. You can find us on Instagram, and you can find us on TikTok. You can find this podcasty type thing on Spotify. You can find it on, where else? Amazon. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, and of course YouTube. And we will see you next time. Sayonara. Adios.